सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादि हेतवे तापत्रये विनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नुमः।
What we call yoga today is just a small part of Hatha Yoga, involving asana, pranayama and mudra.
Many people say yoga asana is not yoga at all. It's all neo-philosophers who talk on easy chair sitting and giving talks. But in olden days, it was not so. Everybody were made to do asanas, which all the historical background will give you that it was compulsory for everyone. Even out of the subject, I can say, the children were taught Upanayanam at the age of 5 or 7. So even at the age of 5 and 7, when they take the sankalpa, they say Asanas Pranayama. That means take a correct position and do pranayama in order to do the japa of the Gayatri. That means asana and pranayama were there from time immemorial without any deviation or division, whether they follow a karmic path or a jnanic path or a yogic path or a bhakti path. So asana and pranayama was compulsory. Asana, pranayama, and everything is there. Even today when they do the puja, the priest says asana pranayama. So it has become now a literary word, but not actual. But in those days, they were actual. They had to do it.
Asana is a steady state of the body, like a statue. Even the slightest movement should not be there. The breath becomes subtle, as if it has stopped completely. When this state becomes effortless and blissful, then the asana is said to be perfect. With the perfected asana, the person is ready to transcend the physical body and to awaken the powers of consciousness. This was the first step of the Indians to acquire knowledge. In this steady state of mind, Prakriti or nature reveals her knowledge. This knowledge of nature through yoga is far deeper than what modern science has achieved. The scene we are observing through our senses is not nature by itself. The senses themselves are an inherent part of nature. But equally, the wandering mind, which is beyond the senses, is also nature. The intellect, which is beyond the wandering mind, is also nature. And beyond the intellect, there is Ahankar, an entity that is self-conscious. That too is nature. And prime nature and consciousness or Purusha are far beyond all of this. The knowledge of consciousness can be realized through the knowledge of nature. Nature is the inspiration for the arts and aesthetics. Nature, knowledge and the arts together brought a qualitative transformation in the life experiences of Indians. They have been the force behind Indian culture. Indian culture can be understood within this triangle. The highest point of life is nature. Nature has been the guru of all the arts and knowledge. When the Supreme Consciousness descended into the natural body, people saw him. Sri Krishna said, "See me in the divine glories of nature." Dekhori Sakhi, Neel Kamal Dal Sham. Dear friend, see Krishna among the blue lotuses. This is not a poetic metaphor. It is an expression of the realization of Krishna consciousness in nature. Indian art embraces knowledge, and knowledge finds its expression in the arts. According to yoga, the fundamental purpose of nature is to exhibit itself. For exhibition, nature takes beautiful forms. Is there a formula or calculation behind its beauty? These are the numbers of the Fibonacci series. But before Fibonacci, Jainacharya Hemachandra had formulated them. Before him, it was Gopal, and even before him, Nirahank. And long before them, the sage Pingal chronicled this rhythmic pattern in his collection of the ancient Chchanda Shastra, a treatise on poetic meters. The interesting thing about these serial numbers is that when two consecutive numbers are added, the next number is obtained. Another characteristic is that when you divide a line in such a way, whether the total length is divided by the longer segment or the longer segment by the shorter one, the same value is achieved. This value is known as the golden ratio. The ratio of numbers in this series is very close to the golden ratio. Amazingly, this series and this ratio are seen in most of the beautiful creations of nature. The number of petals in a flower or the number of circles in a sunflower, all beautiful creations show this pattern. We do not know whether the artists knew this, but in the most beautiful man-made creations, this ratio is seen. Therefore, it is called the golden ratio of beauty. The same ratio is seen in the long and short beats of music, which makes it melodious. The rhythmic cycle of musical beats, known as Tal, follow this number series. When the voice or mantra is contained in a meter that combines the Laghu and Guru syllables and matras, it is called Chchanda, or poetic versification. Chhandas are the definite number of cycles of long and short meters, but the word meter is only a limited meaning of Chchanda. Through their yogic power, the ancient rishis saw the universe as rhythmic motion and pulsation. They realized that the material universe is pulsating rhythmically, as in a chanda. They called both the matter and the voice Vak. The universe is bound by chanda. Therefore, knowledge of the universe, the Vedas, are also bound by chanda. One of the meanings of chanda is protective shield. The Chandas have protectively shielded Vedic knowledge from time immemorial. It is the protection by Chanda and the metered recitation of the vast Vedic literature that has ensured its purity and continuity till today. In this way, the arts, music and poetry ensured the continuity of Indian knowledge. The arts helped the Indian mind experience the ultimate reality. Creation is rhythmic, so is its dissolution. Both are chanda bound. The universe is ever in motion in the form of spirals of chandas. These shells were found in Dholavira city of the Harappa civilization. What was seen after opening them? A miraculous formula of creativity, beauty and dissolution.
जहाँ तक परिवर्तन का संबंध है, उसको भी हम भारतीय दृष्टि से समझ लें। स्वयं परिवर्तन शब्द ही ये बता रहा है, परि चारों ओर से वर्तन होना, अर्थात गोलाकार, वर्तुलाकार, रेखाकार नहीं। ये वर्तुलाकार जीवन का स्वरूप शायद उस पक्षी को अच्छी तरह मालूम है जो अपना घोंसला भी वर्तुलाकार बनाता है। उस पक्षी के अंदर एक अंतर्दृष्टि है कि अंडे को भी गोल होना है, इसलिए घोंसले को भी गोल होना है, और इसलिए विकास का क्रम गोल ही है, वर्तुलाकार ही है। लेकिन सर्कुलर होने के साथ साथ प्रकृति में कभी भी पुनरावृत्ति नहीं होती। इसलिए सर्कुलर का ये मतलब नहीं है कि जैसा था वैसा का वैसा दोबारा हो जाएगा। वो गोलाकार होते हुए भी शंखाकार आगे बढ़ता है। ये भी एक गोला है, लेकिन अगला भी एक गोला है, लेकिन ऊंचाई बढ़ गई है उसकी। स्पाइरल गति के अंदर ह्रास भी शामिल है और विकास भी शामिल है। ये परिवर्तन का स्वरूप भारतीय चिंतन का, जिसके लिए हमारे यहाँ चक्र शब्द का प्रयोग हुआ। तो हमारे ऋषियों ने उसको इतना महत्व दिया कि उन्होंने बहुत सारी चीज़ों के साथ चक्र शब्द, काल चक्र बोलने लगे, हम संसार चक्र बोलने लगे।
It was not faith in God or superstition, but a direct observation of nature through which the Vedics had the experience of the infinite and the Buddhists of Shunya. The infinite or Shunya, the one who experiences either of them, becomes a yogi and attains samadhi. Does it matter whether Pythagoras learnt his theorem from the Indians or not? It matters because when the same knowledge comes back to India, it is devoid of its spirituality. Modern medical science has had significant contributions from ancient India. The basic procedure of rhinoplasty of the ancient Indians is the same as performed today. The Samsara-Chakra describes more than 100 surgical instruments. But today, the role of dhyana and emotions have no place in medical science. To make Ayurveda modern, scientists have separated it from its holistic philosophy of the human body. The human body, as defined by Yoga and Sankhya, the human body defined by the Upanishads, the human body defined by the Gita, the body defined by Ayurveda and the Puranas, all are the same. And all this is the philosophy of the human body of the Hindus. Hindus consider medicinal plants as conscious entities. Earlier, Ayurvedic physicians would request the medicinal plant to cure the patient. They believed the plant would then compassionately infuse positive energy in its paths. But for modern men, plants are objects of consumption. The same attitude exists towards knowledge. The Shastra of any knowledge is not a book for consumption. It is a living flow of traditional learning. This is the Shastra, Charak Samhita. Charak means wandering ascetic. The long tradition of wandering Hindu ascetics, who were also physicians, began from the time of the Atharva Veda. Ayurveda is a sub-Veda of the Vedas. In Veda, food grain is considered Brahma, the universal consciousness, through which our own consciousness is sustained. Therefore, in India, while inviting people for meals, it is not to eat a meal, but to accept the meal. In Rajasthan, while inviting people for meals, they say, Bhojan Arogya Sa, meaning, please accept food for Arogya, that is, for well-being.
आरोग्य खाना खाओ ये नहीं कहते। खाना हमारे यहाँ वर्जित है, खाना शब्द का प्रयोग है। ये बहुत गहरा विज्ञान है जो लोगों ने अर्जित किया अपने अनुभवों से। न तो सब्जी काटी जाती है, सब्जी सुधारी जाती है। अब वहाँ हिंसा नहीं है। अगर और आगे बढ़ कर के कहूँ तो कोई ये नहीं कहेगा कि आप खाओ सा। तो खाना जो है वो दरअसल भक्षण की कैटेगरी में आता है। और हम भक्षी नहीं थे, हम भोक्ता नहीं थे, हम उपभोक्ता थे, ये हम जानते हैं। इतना ही भोजन करना है जिससे हम निरोग रहें और आरोग्य की प्राप्ति करें। आरोग्य की साधना पहली दरअसल जरूरत थी हमारी। हम भोजन चटकारे लेके नहीं खाते थे, हम भोजन आरोग्य निरोग होने के लिए करते थे। हम कैलोरीज नहीं गिनते थे, लेकिन हम ये देखते थे कि क्या चीज़ हमारे लिए पौष्टिक है, क्या चीज़ तृप्ति देती है। बहुत सारी चीज़ें सेवन की जाती थी। अभी सेवन भी दवा का शब्द है, तो खाने की चीज़ें भी सेवन की जाती थी। और विज्ञान इतना प्रबल था, लोग तक पहुंचा हुआ था जड़ों में, कि हम जानते थे कि क्या चीज़ गर्म है, किसकी तासीर गर्म है और किसकी तासीर ठंडी है। आज कोई नहीं जानता। आज ठंडा क्या है, गर्म क्या है, ये कोई बताता नहीं है। और इस विज्ञान से वंचित रखा गया है पिछले 70-80-100 सालों से, जब से, बल्कि 200 सालों से।
गंगा तरंग रमणीय जटा कलापम गौरी निरंतर विभूषित भागम।
Shiva in Samadhi has been the personification of yoga for thousands of years. All the symbols shown here represent the philosophy of yoga. Shiva is our pure, detached consciousness.